Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something that's been making serious waves. The AI video app, Higgsfield.
Oh, yeah, the one with the, what, 50 million downloads?
Exactly, 50 million. And the promise is huge, right? Upload a selfie, pick a fancy camera move, and suddenly you're creating, quote, Hollywood videos from your phone.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, that's what we're here to unpack. Is this thing genuinely revolutionary for creators, or is it, mostly clever marketing hiding something else?
It's interesting because the initial hook, um, it's genuinely strong, that mobile-first approach. Pretty innovative.
Right.
And it gets rid of that whole prompt hell nightmare. You basically pay your, what, $7 or whatever the subscription is.
Yeah, something like that.
And you get access to like 70 professional camera moves, crash zooms, billet time, orbital shots, all without writing any code. That's appealing.
Okay, so that core feature, taking a nice static photo and animating it with these preset cinematic moves, that is pretty brilliant. It looks expensive.
It does. Looks like something that should cost way more than a few app credits.
But there's always a but, isn't there? Where do the cracks start showing? The technical limits?
Well, they show it pretty quickly when you look at the actual motion quality.
Okay.
Some independent tests really put it through its paces.
Hmm.
Compared to competitors, like Clang or Runway AI. Higgsfield apparently scored pretty low, like a 5 out of 10 for motion.
Ouch. What does that mean in practice?
Things like wood or movement, lifeless eyes. It struggles with subtlety.
Hmm.
There was even this one example someone found,
Yeah.
a character raising a wine glass for a toast, but then they just sort of freeze. The glass never reaches their lips, just hangs there awkwardly.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
memorable, and not in a good way. Spooky, almost.
Right.
But is that just like the price you pay for speed on a mobile app, or is something else going on? Especially with the output limits, 5 seconds max.
And 720p resolution.
Yeah, 5 seconds and 720p. That seems limiting.
It really does. And you have to wonder, 720p is okay maybe for just scrolling on your phone.
Sure, disposable content.
Exactly. But it's basically unusable for YouTube or anything more serious, especially when others are doing 1080p, even 4K.
So when you put those together, the short clips, the low res, it starts to feel less like a technical hurdle.
And maybe more like a deliberate choice, like a way to control how useful the output actually is, maybe. Keep you from making anything too good with it.
Hmm. And then there are the financial bits, the traps people found, which kind of feed into that idea of artificial scarcity.
Yeah, like the billing.
Yeah.
People clicking for what looks like a monthly plan.
And getting hit with a yearly charge instead. That's pretty sneaky.
It is. And the credit system. That seemed designed to burn through quickly.
How quickly?
Well, videos cost between 20 and 50 credits, and credits don't roll over. The free plan gives you, what, 5 a day?
5 credits a day. So one decent clip might take you 4 days to earn enough credits for.
If nothing crashes, yeah. 4 days for potentially 5 seconds of 720p video.
And if it does crash and you lose credits, good luck getting them back.
Apparently. Support seems to be mainly chatbots giving apologies, not actual refunds or fixes. You have to really push to get to a human.
So they make the credits scarce, then make it hard to get them back if their system glitches. That paints a picture.
Does seem like a pattern, doesn't it? Aggressive monetization on top of these sort of built-in technical ceilings.
Okay, so summing this up for you, the listener, Higgsfield, super fast, looks cool for quick social media stuff. That camera preset library is genuinely innovative. Gotta give them that.
Definitely. A great idea there.
But the business model just seems to hamstring the creator, right? The low resolution, the 5 second limit, the credit system. It feels like it stops you from doing anything really substantial.
Yeah, it disqualifies it for serious work. It's like this brilliant feature idea trapped inside a system designed for aggressive revenue protection.
So here's maybe the final thought to leave you with. We see this real innovation, like the mobile delivery, the presets, but it comes wrapped in these fundamental limits and, frankly, aggressive monetization tactics hidden behind that slick Hollywood marketing.
Is that the new normal we need to watch out for at AI tools? Genuine sparks of brilliance, but maybe deliberately held back by business models built on artificial constraints? Something to think about.